Let's kick it off.
Let's go.
Get it.
Scotty T, bro. I just met you yesterday.
Yeah.
And here we are, bro. And I just want to say thank you, bro. And the audience is in for a treat, bro.
Yeah.
For those who don't really know you, you just want to give us a quick little spiel of who you are, and then we'll dive deep.
Yo!
Nerds.
Yeah, Scotty T. I live in Las Vegas. We're actually in Scottsdale now. We all just met at an event, Patrick Bet David and Andy Elliott's event. You know, these conferences are great to attend. It's always the people that you meet at these places. And, you know, we're blessed to meet right when the party was ending. We chopped it up for a little bit, said you had a podcast, and here we are at the Scottsdale penthouse, you know, having some wine, hanging out, and chopping it up. So I'm excited. I'm CreditLift. I'm the CEO, owner of CreditLift. I help business owners scale their business by leveraging 0% interest capital and traveling the world 100% free by using credit card points.
That's awesome, bro. And like, I guess, like, how did you get into that? Like, tell us a little bit of background story.
Yeah. So that's probably the question that I get the most is how did I get into it? Because it's a topic that like a lot of people wouldn't really want to just study for any reason unless they had to do it, right? And that was my exact situation. I had to learn the credit game to get capital because I wanted to get into real estate. So I'll run it back to 2015. I was in a really bad motorcycle accident. I wrecked a super bike at around 130 mile an hour.
Wow.
And blessed to be alive.
Uncapped fans, want to boost your credit score and unlock new financial opportunities? Check out CreditLift. They offer personalized credit building plans, expert advice, and tools to help you track your progress.
As a loyal podcast viewer, you can get started through our exclusive link below. Improve your credit score and take control of your financial future today.
Thanks for supporting our sponsors.
And now back to the show.
For sure. But I completely demolished my leg, my right leg right here. So I probably won't be able to sit like this for very long. But that's why I wasn't able to work out with you guys this morning. I can't run. I can't work out on this leg. I couldn't walk or work for about a year after that wreck.
Wow.
And it caused a lot of damage, not only physically and mentally, but financially as well. I lost everything. At the time, I lived in Kansas. I was just working a normal job, local factory job. Wasn't making a lot of money, like $15 an hour or so.
Yeah.
And so when you get hit with tens of thousands of dollars of medical collections, in America, you got to pay for it, right?
Yeah, different from Canada.
Right? Yeah. You know, we kind of have a fucked up health system over here, and it's not cheap, especially for someone, you know, middle class, lower class. And so I lost everything, ended up moving out to my girlfriend at the time's parents. They had a trailer out on their farm that we lived in. It cost like $2,000, right? It wasn't anything fancy or anything like that. And lived there and lost everything, right? And I wanted to get into real estate because I watched my stepdad develop custom homes all over the country. So I kind of grew up all over the country because we moved all over because he built custom homes.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about real estate, but I knew real estate was something that I wanted to do. And someone approached me because they kind of saw like an entrepreneurial like hustle in me.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, we're going to raise some capital. We're going to start building custom homes in South Texas. Do you want to get involved? Yes, absolutely. Remember, no job, no money. My credit was demolished.
And fresh off an injury, right?
Yeah.
And like, take us through like that bounce back, like, you know, that mental bounce back. I can't imagine how tough it was to go through something like that.
Good question. That's actually something that nobody really asked me about. The mental, I think, was the hardest because, I mean, I'm not really like a depressed person. I didn't really believe in depression until you see it for the first time. And I think that was probably one of the first times I ever thought like of suicide. Like there's no comeback, there's no turnaround. I lost everything and everyone. because of this accident and this wreck. But I don't have like the give up mentality. And I'm a very, faithful person to the Lord, and I always seek strength through him. And, I'm glad, I didn't go through to commit to anything too serious.
Of course. Yeah.
I want to ask you, like, why did you feel like this was the thing for you though?
What, real estate or
just like bouncing back?
Look, if someone wrecks a motorcycle at 130 miles an hour and is alive, you're meant for something. And so it's like, all right, why am I here? There is some reason why I'm here. I have a purpose somewhere. I don't know what it is, who it's for, but there's something bigger at work here, and I'm alive because of it.
Yeah. So you get into that accident, and you're not in like the proper mental state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get presented this opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So take us through the opportunity and how you just like attacked it.
Well, the first thing that he said was like, hey, we're going to be getting capital to invest in this real estate and start developing homes. But in order to get capital, you have to have good credit. You need to get credit repair. And so he was like, we have a guy in our network who does credit repair. So I paid him $500, which was a shit ton of money to me back then. I had none, but being a guy from Kansas, a country boy, like I had guns. So I sold my last gun for $500 to pay this guy $500 to repair my credit. And I got taken advantage of. But it took a few months to realize that he wasn't doing anything. Knowing what I know now, it would have been an immediate red flag. But obviously it took several months to realize, nothing is being done here. And now, obviously, I wasn't like babysitting what this guy was doing. I was keeping my eye on the prize. And then when I look back and I see, okay, well, I'm not getting any results, and that's holding me back. That's my anchor. That's why I can't go do that. That's my goal. That's my vision. That's what I want to do. And you know what? I'm also the type of person where I will not allow anybody else to hold me back from what I want to do. Mm-hmm. Right? I am responsible for my own success, nobody else. And I'm also responsible for not allowing anyone else to fail me. So if I allowed this guy to keep taking advantage of me, I would have failed. I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
Where do you get this mentality from? Because there's a lot of weak people out here, and I do want to say that very true. Where do you get this from?
I have no idea. I think it has a lot to do with not having anybody in my life ever. That kind of goes back to like childhood trauma of I've been on my own since I was 15. No parental guidance, barely passed high school. I went to juvie, went to boys camps because I was homeless. Only passed high school because like girls were doing my homework. It's like, and I never had anybody else to rely on. So it's like you have to be mentally tough. You have to grow up in a state of life like that.
That's one thing I think we both shared. Just to kind of say, I remember they asked like, who are from the streets, and like I kind of looked to the corner of my eye. You're sitting in the CEO seats.
Yeah.
So those are like the high prize. Like those are the big bosses. Like when I looked at you, never would have thought you would have put your hand up.
Yeah.
And you did. And I kind of felt really comfortable with when I was able to look around and see someone in the CEO seat was able to say that. How did that change your whole mindset?
As far as having that mindset and going through what I did as a child, I just feel like that is who I am naturally. I don't know how to be weak, right? Until it comes to a cold plunge. But I bounced back the next morning. Yeah. Because again, I'm not going to be a victim of my own defeat,
yeah.
100%. So when you go through that, it doesn't seem hard, right? You are what you grow up. When I tell my story about my childhood and what I've been through, people are like, oh my God, that's so crazy. No, it wasn't. That was my life.
That was my
normal. Yeah. Right? That is not trauma. I mean, yeah, my wife is like a psychiatric physician. She has all the psych shit. Yes, it is trauma. But you know what? It's like you take that trauma and you create something good out of it. right? You create strength, not weaknesses from that trauma. So it's like, if you keep that mentality and try to spread that, then, you create a lot of good.
Yeah.
Are you a business owner, sales rep, cool,
And spit on that thing, you get me?
or is someone who just wants to learn more about sales? You don't want to miss the biggest mastermind of the year.
On September 13th, some of the best business and sales leaders in the world will be at this event teaching you everything you need to know about business. Through the Uncapped Network, you can get an exclusive 20% coupon code. So type in Uncapped20 down below. We'll see you there.
Let me explain. Guys, September 13th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., one of the best, most insane virtual masterminds you've ever had access to. You're gonna get 20% off like these guys just said. You're gonna have access to some of the top sales trainers, top business owners that have 9-figure exits under their belt, marketers who have 9 figures worth of marketing production under their belt that you're gonna have direct access to for multiple hours with Q&As so you can ask them questions, get insights, get training that you need to scale your business. Every speaker that we announce, the price goes up. Speakers have already been announced, so you've already missed price breaks. The price is continuing to go up every 3 to 4 days. Take the coupon code that these guys just gave you, go to the link, get your slot, and we'll see you in the room.
So you meet this guy. He tries to repair your credit,
Mhm.
and it ends up being a scam. Like, what was your next step then?
I started doing my own research. I realized that credit repair is possible. I went to YouTube University. Around the same time, I started studying wholesaling on YouTube because hey, real estate. Let's get into it, right? So I started studying wholesaling and credit repair. Started studying the laws, and I realized, wait, anybody can do credit repair. And so I sent in a couple letters, and all those medical collections fell off in 30 days.
Wow.
As soon as I sent those letters. So I sent a text message to this guy. Remember, because he was the expert. And I wasn't accusing him of anything yet. I'll send you the text message. Maybe you can clip it.
Yeah,
for sure.
In the
for
video.
Sure. I mean, that'd be
And
sick.
it's like, so I sent him a text message. I'm like, hey, I sent in one round of dispute letters and these accounts were removed. I'm going to go ahead and send round 2 unless something is being done on your end. I'll call you when I get off work. And he said to me, maybe the screenshot will be up on the screen sometime, but like he said to me, if you think what you're doing is the reason, everyone would have perfect credit. If it was that, maybe you should go out and start your own company yourself.
Wow.
I mean, and since then I've helped over 1,000 people, repair their credit, establish business credit, get access to capital, and travel for free.
Wow. So that kind of gave you a chip on the shoulder,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
You're like,
fire under the butt.
Absolutely.
Okay. But I mean, I feel like it takes a lot of balls to start your own thing, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you have any entrepreneurial background? Or
No,
like,
absolutely not. I actually no. I'm a physical work guy. I was a traveling welder. I traveled around the country welding. Right. I love physical labor. I'm not smart. Obviously, I barely passed high school. I had like a 2.0 GPA. I only passed because girls were doing my homework, and my girlfriend at the time talked my principal into letting me graduate.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, I'm not supposed to be here, and I'm not smart. I'm just resourceful, right? And I think this is like the street smart. There's street smart that comes with common sense and grit, and there's book smart. Yeah. We hire book smart people.
Yeah.
Because we figured it out. We're resourceful. And so you didn't have to be smart to figure this out, but you just had to have the mentality where it's like, fuck me, no fuck you.
Yeah.
And that's like that street mentality.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to fuck me. I'm on my way somewhere and you're holding me back. I'm going.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I have to do something myself to get there, I'm doing it. And that's what I did. But I never thought about creating a business out of it.
Yeah. Do you remember a moment in time when you were like, okay, like I need to change my mindset. I need to change like the way I'm thinking. Like, what? Like, do you remember a certain moment, or was it one of those things that just naturally like progressed?
Natural. It was natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you look back on yourself and think like, this is the person I am, but do you believe you are the person you are now?
As far as like the mentality, or
I would say where you're at now, looking back. with the little you,
Mhm.
is this what you ever thought you'd be?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I don't think anybody else did either. Like a lot of people will say, "Oh, I knew you'd do so great," and yeah, they might have seen something in me because I was probably different. But no, my parents are addicts. I was 15, living on my own, homeless, bouncing around, juvie, boys' home, because my dad went to prison for the biggest meth bust in Kansas history.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. And the thing is, like, for all the audience, like, I want them to know, like, man, you're one of the top 50 wholesalers in America. Like, you know what I mean? I want, like, can you share, like, how big, like, your company is, like, how big it is? You know what I mean? Because when I was just chatting, people are like, okay, who's this guy?
Mhm.
But, like, I don't think they understand, like, who you are.
Yeah. So that was what I was getting into and why I had to do my credit repair.
Mm.
And so I'll get there, but I want to go back to how I started that.
Yeah. Let's
All right.
get there.
So it's like we did the credit repair with just the intent of working with these guys to, go develop these homes. And I went from a 532 to 741 in about 2 months. And then I was able to apply for some credit cards. And it was just 2 credit cards, personal credit cards. They weren't business. I didn't know as much as I do now. I didn't know right or wrong. But I got access to a couple credit cards and I maxed them out on a wholesaling mentorship program.
Wow.
And it was $10,000. I maxed out 2 credit cards. I would not advise doing this, especially on personal credit cards. But when you have nothing to lose, you don't fear losing. So I had no fear.
Yeah.
Maxed out these 2 credit cards, bought a $10,000 mentorship program, invested $1,000 into direct mail marketing in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and closed my first few deals the next month for $80,000.
Wow. And when you say you brought your credit from 500 to 700, like, how did you do that?
Yeah, so I just sent in a couple rounds of dispute letters to remove all the negatives that I acquired from my accident in that time of not making money and not being able to pay bills.
Yeah.
So I removed all the negatives, and then I added a few trade lines, some authorized user trade lines. So somebody else's credit card accounts. And when you do that, you automatically adopt all of that credit history onto your credit profile. So it appears that is all of your on-time payments. It's your credit limit. It's your utilization, your age. All of that is immediately reported on your credit. And that's why it spiked so much. Because you can remove the negatives, but it doesn't mean you have any positives. And that's what I did. And that's why it skyrocketed so much.
Could you take us through that accident? Because that definitely was something that hit you really hard, right? But how'd you manage it and what happened?
Yeah, so it was a group of friends of mine. There was about 15 of us riding in a few vehicles, a few cars. There's a place called Mocan. It's Kansas, Missouri, Mocan. And there's a drag strip. And I lived in Southeast Kansas, and it's about an hour away, and we're headed through the drag strip. And if you're riders, we're playing leapfrog, right? The person in the back just zip up to the front, right? And that was it. And the road was like under construction. It was a 2-lane highway. And instead of like redoing the asphalt on the entire road, they would just layer it. So in the middle of the 2 lanes, there was about like an 1.5 inch little dip. So when I went back into my lane, I hit that, got the speed wobbles, super bad. And I mean, that slow motion, it is crazy. I don't know if that's me or if that's just how it works, but I have a very clear, I don't crush under pressure. It was so slow motion. I remember every thought, every decision, and it felt like forever. The car behind me said that my knees were about to hit the ground both times. Like, speed wobbles were so bad, the bike going back and forth, my knees were about to hit the pavement. And the reason why I know I was going over 130 is because there was a souped up Eclipse that was following us. They were going 132. We have a little clip on video of me flying past them. Wow. And they were going 132.
Yeah.
So got the speed wobbles. I didn't let go. I hung on, and they said I popped it up a couple times, which if you're a rider, you know that's how you gain control of speed wobbles. I don't remember doing that intentionally, but I do remember after the second time coming down, I saw the back tire. It looked like the distance of my foot, like a foot. And I'm like, okay, if I go down, I'm not bringing anybody with me. And that's when I decided to hit it right, hit the ditch. And then I hit the ditch. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to go down for sure now. I'm in the ditch. And there was a split second where I'm like, oh wow, I might ride this out. And then boom. So it was, I was in between two bridges. There was really tall grass and there's water in it. And the water either saved my life or put me down. Oh, see, like my knee is cramped right now.
Yeah.
I sat like there too long.
Yeah.
But the water either put me down. I don't know if I would have been able to ride it out or if I'd be dead and the water saved me. Because I didn't have a single scratch on my body.
Wow.
What?
Not a single scratch on my body except for maybe a little bit of like grass burn. But my entire knee was demolished. I have a huge plate in it, a huge scar. But they said my bike went 200 yards. It's 2 football fields.
Wow.
And they saw me, flying in the air. So I don't know.
Have you rode a motorcycle since?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Riders
yeah.
ride, baby.
Let's
Riders
go.
ride, but
Dog is still in you.
oh, absolutely, man. I have no fear. I have no fear. And I'm the type. Remember, I don't let anything else defeat me.
Yeah.
There were so many times I wanted to go back to that crash and ride it hard again.
Wow.
Like you do not defeat me. I cannot be
That's a
defeated.
monster mentality.
What is it though? Is it a higher power or is it something inside of you that makes you want to relive that moment almost in a way?
Man, I think it's just the shit I went through as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up fighting all over the country. In Vegas, I hung out with like the older kids, and like I'm talking, you can go look at like 5-6-year-olds today, and they're like, there's no way that little kid scraps.
Yeah.
But I remember hanging out with like the high schoolers because I was in a K-12 school in Vegas, and the older cats, they would send me to go fight everybody, like 5th graders and middle schoolers and shit. I would.
Yeah.
And then ended up going to Kansas where my dad lived. Like there we are, the city to a country ass town of like 2,500 people. And then my mom and my stepdad moved out to South Carolina to develop homes in Hilton Head.
Yeah.
But I lived in Ridgeland. I was the only white kid. So I got jumped every single day and I loved it.
Wow, that's like a different mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To like love to live in that environment.
Yeah.
I want to get back into like the journey. You know what I mean? Like so the wholesaling. Like take us through that. Like how did you start that?
Yeah. So I closed at $80,000
Yes.
that very first month.
So wait. Let's say that story again because that's wild.
Yeah. All right. So
He says it so casually.
I know.
Right? Like 80,000. I'm like,
So-
everybody wishes that.
at the time I was going through a breakup, and I went from that $2,000 trailer in the middle of a field in Southeast Kansas to a camper in the middle of the woods. So I was actually homeless, living in a camper, like no internet, nothing, right? And I was dumb. When I got that good credit, I wasn't making any good money, but I leveraged my credit and went and bought my dream truck, man, like $55,000.
What was it?
Like a brand new Ford F-150, lifted, custom rims, titanium gray. It was like a platinum, bro. It was everything, man. I definitely couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
But I got that, and I was living in a camper, going through a breakup. I closed a few deals, and so one of them was $60K, and then 2 of them were $10K.
A $60K wholesale deal.
Yeah, that was my very first wholesale deal.
And like explain, like was it like a multifamily? Was it single?
No, it was a little package, 5 single family homes in like a booming area
Nice.
in Tulsa. Yeah.
Nice.
So do you think you got lucky or do you think you were just time to market kind of in a way?
I mean, if I tried that now, if anybody wanted to get started with $1,000, I would never tell them to go get direct mail, go do direct mail. So it had a lot to do with the market, for sure. For sure. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't the easiest deal either. So
take us through that first experience. You know what I mean? Like your wholesale deal is $60,000. How are you feeling in that moment? Especially because like you said, you don't come from much. You don't come from a lot. You come from like, you know, like that grit. So like, how did you feel when you first received that?
Bro, it was bad, man. So like I had a partner at the time. He was trying to steal the deal. There was actually one point where he he actually took the deal out of our company name and then put it in his. So it was a whole mess. But you know, it's kind of like that street, fuck me, no fuck you. Yeah. You know, I'm an honest guy. I have nothing. I wouldn't steal. Like, it doesn't serve me at all. And so I played it out like the entire time, just waiting to see like, what was this guy trying to do? What was the move? What was the play? And, you know, the deal got delayed, like closing. And that was my sign. I'm like, okay, that was my sign from God that I have to take action. And so I did. And I just told the truth to the seller and to the buyer. And everybody was like, whoa, we're not down for that. The sellers were like, well, I don't even know if I want to sell my properties anymore. I'm like, well, look, you want to sell, right? Buyers want to buy. Nothing has to change. Contracts are expired. We just redo the deal, right? And they're like, all right. So we did that. And they're like, but we have to talk to the buyer. We want to understand the situation, see what they say. And the buyer said, look, I trust Scotty. He's a good guy. I want to go through with this. Whatever he needs to do, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else it was other than God delaying that deal. So I waited to the day of closing. I trust that people are going to do good all times. And that's why I think I've been taking advantage so much.
Yeah. And like, are you operating from are you educating yourself, or is it just like pure desperation? You just you're hungry. Like, or are you like listening to stuff, reading stuff? Like how you don't just go from nothing to being able to have a network like that, finding the deal, closing the deal. Like that takes skill.
Yeah. So it was both. So a lot of it was just like common sense, having like that spidey street sense, knowing like when someone's really taking advantage of you. But at the same time, it was also educating myself, because I paid $10,000 for the mentorship program because like this guy, he just wasn't given the sauce, you know? And remember, I had just gotten access to credit. I had no money. My bank account was actually negative, but I had these credit cards in this truck I couldn't afford. So we were whipping around in my truck. I was maxing out my credit cards to pay for food for everybody, you know, paid $1,000 for this direct mail. I'm funding all this, but it was because this guy who was way younger than me claimed he had the experience. He could walk us through the deal. And I'm like, I'm very analytical. If I do something, I want to understand like the entire process so I can dissect it and improve it. And I don't know where the hell I got that from. Maybe it's just like my OCD self. But I had to understand it, and he just wouldn't give me the sauce. I'm like, okay. So with the help of my like mentorship and the team, they were able to help me like navigate the deal even through like that situation.
Yeah. So how many wholesale deals did you do
in total?
Yeah.
Oh, right now I don't even know. It's over 1,000.
Over 1,000.
But yeah, no, I actually paused my wholesale operation about 7 months ago. So, but just to go all in on the coaching and the credit stuff.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's like a unique pivot, right? You're going from wholesaling to like coaching people how to use credit.
Yeah.
Right. So like, what caused that pivot?
So I've been doing the credit stuff for years now, but more so implementing it for myself. Like I had to use this to keep leveling up. And then, you know, COVID hit and I lost $2.4 million that month. And so it's like, went from being super big to completely losing everything again. And then it's like knowing the credit game, I was able to acquire more business credit, 0% interest, and keep going, keep my operations going. even though everyone else was shut down and paused.
How did you get to 2.4 mil?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. It's like you literally went from telling us you're broke, had nothing to you, and then to 60K.
So this was like
80K.
2 year. This was like 2 year time frame, right?
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so a bunch of wholesale deals are
Yeah,
coming through.
yeah.
But even too though, how did you get to that point, right? Because everyone wants to think, okay, wholesaling it could be easy,
Mhm.
but you have a really good story with wholesaling, right?
Mhm.
You got a big numbers behind you, you got a good rep. Like, take us through that.
Yeah. So I kind of happened accidentally, right? And I look back, and if I was to, my favorite quote from Brad Lee, just repeat successful actions. And it's like, well, you can't repeat everything because sometimes they just fall into place. And that's kind of what happened with the big deals that I was doing. So it was all started with networking and just knowing the right people and someone catching wind that's like, oh, I buy real estate. I sell real estate, whatever. So there was a broker in Tulsa that introduced me to someone who was like trying to sell a lot of like big packages and whatnot. So I started focusing on looking for buyers for these huge package deals, like resorts, apartment complexes, huge packages of single family homes. And the like $2.2 million deal, the other 200,000 was just from pending like deals in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But the $2.2 million deal was a single family package of a little under 1,700 single family homes in Ohio and Florida, all one owner, one guy. He was trying to offload that. And so, I reach out to a broker friend. She's like, oh, I have someone who might have a buyer. And so this someone was someone who worked for a hedge fund. And this is back when, like, if you guys are familiar with like real estate and wholesaling, hedge funds were huge a few years ago, right? They were buying up everything, especially when at 2% interest, right?
Yeah.
So, I found a buyer literally like that.
So, bro, like, what are your peers and your family members saying, or
Absolutely
how,
nothing.
or how are they treating you during that whole journey?
I don't have them.
Really?
Yeah, my
But
friends are my family.
Was that chosen though, or is it because you had to
a little bit of both?
like remove them to get to where you're at?
A little bit of both. So my dad, when I was still down and out, couldn't walk, he actually came up to me at my house and, punched my leg as I couldn't walk.
When you were fucked up. Eh?
Yeah, real fucked up. So
He came up to you and punched your leg.
punched my leg.
I
tried to take me out.
I still don't get it because I want to say this. I don't get it because remember, you literally just told us you came from nothing.
Okay, no, wait. I want to really touch on that point. Like he came up and punched your leg.
Yeah. So there was a 4-wheeler, like badass sport 4-wheeler that I bought when I was 19. And because I had good credit. And,
Goes back to credit always.
always, man. And so I bought this 4-wheeler and had it for a couple years. And then I moved to Oklahoma City just to get away from my small town. And he was like, hey, why don't you just leave it here? I'm like, well, I might take it out there because my mom and stepdad have a farm, 80 acres, like an hour away from the city. I'll ride it every once in a while. He's like, well, me and Abby, he plays my niece because I helped raise my niece when I was 15. I was helping raising my niece for the first 2 years because her mom was kind of whacked. Yeah. And so she's very special to me, and he kind of used that because she was living with them. He's like, well, Abby and I would love to ride it around every once in a while. Okay. He's like, it'll be our 4-wheeler. Like it's your 4-wheeler. Like I'll pay for it as long as I have it. That's all. So he kind of like just took over the payments.
Yeah.
And he had it for 2 to 3 years. And during that time, it got paid off.
Yeah.
And not to mention, he was late like every fucking month.
Yeah.
So my credit was shot then too.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So that actually was a big play in having to repair it during my accident times. So, So during my accident, we lived out in the trailer house. My ex-family had cattle and whatnot. And their house, her parents' house, was like 2 football fields away. And I can't walk over there. Like, but her mom is a nurse, so it's like I would just go over there and whatnot, and I couldn't drive, can't walk or drive, so it's like I'll just fuck it, I'll ride the 4-wheeler, and to pay my means, I'll go check on the cattle, I'll go do this, I'll get around using the 4-wheeler. So I reach out, hey dad, I'm gonna come get the 4-wheeler for a little bit. Now remember, I had lived in Kansas for like a couple years at this point, and I never asked for that thing. I don't want the fucking thing. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna come get the 4-wheeler and use it while I'm down and out. He's like, all right. So I go to pick it up, and then he does a whole tweaker trip. He's like, you ain't taking the fucking 4-wheeler, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know. And, I asked myself, what's his deal? And she's like, well, he's trying to sell it, or he wants to trade it for a lawnmower. Granted, this is like a $6,000 4-wheeler. I'm like, okay, but I need to use it. And by the way, like he can't sell that. The title is in my name. Like he can't legally sell that without talking to me first. And then I was like, he can do whatever he wants with it when I go back to work. Yeah. And what they dissected out of that statement was that he can't legally do that.
Yeah.
They completely ignore the fact that, hey, you can do whatever you want with it after I'm done using it because I need it. I don't want it. I need it.
Yeah, literally.
And so, but they took, hey, you legally can't do that. Of course, they took that like as a threat. So he blew up. He was like, I'll burn this motherfucker before you ever see it again. Yada, 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 yada. Now, it kind of goes back to the fuck me, no fuck you mentality.
Yeah.
So I went and stole it.
And this is family too. So
yeah, it's my dad.
It's a lot harder, right? Because we try to do a lot of things because they brought us here, but at the end of the day, do they love us the same way we love them?
Right. Yeah.
No, and like it's kind of like shocking to hear that. You know what I mean? Like that's the first time I've heard it. We spoke earlier for a while, right? And we spoke about us both recently getting married, right? Like a year ago. So it's like like it's amazing to see like how you're able to get yourself out of a situation like that, but also find love in actual family.
It's all I have is
community.
It's all I have to give is love.
Yeah. How important was it to meet your wife?
Oh man, I never wanted to get married until I met her. I was
look at that smile on his face. I fucking love it, bro.
Bro,
I love it, man.
Perfect timing too. I was like, I'm done with these females. Like they're all bad. Like I was at a point in my business, COVID, where I'm either going to make it or break it. I'm gonna fail or go all in, right? And so I'm like, I'm not talking to any more of these dumb females. And they just want the money. Yeah. And and I had a boat and whatnot, so they was always out there, and that's where I met Rachel. But it was a mutual friend, and he was like, hey, some of my friends from Joplin, they're in town. Is it cool if I bring them? I'm like, hell yeah, of course, females.
Yeah.
Oh,
like, the dog bring him on.
The dog is still in him.
Yeah, and so we fell in love instantly. Honestly,
that's awesome.
Do you feel like finding love really changed your whole perspective on actual love?
That's a great question.
It's an amazing question. I definitely want to take some mushrooms and think about that.
Yeah.
Like
good, but like
because that's a good point. It definitely like made me grow up. Like, but I'm not the type to like date a bunch of women or anything like that. Like I've only been in long relationships.
Yeah.
But and I have no issue of like commitment in relationships, but I never even wanted to like get married or anything until
it's almost like a trust issue, right? If you think about it, right? Because even till you think back, like from hearing the story earlier, it's even the people who brought you here, they betrayed you. But then you finally found that person that you fell in love with, and you can kind of feel some security of they're not going to betray me. I can finally build with them.
Yeah. And was it like your wife's love you found first, or was it your love for God you found first? Wife. Yeah. And then the love for God came after that.
Yeah. I mean, the love for God was always there, but I didn't live it like I wish I had. again, my small town, a little trauma from my small town where I'm from is when I moved back. So I'm right after high school, I moved to Vegas to fight professionally. And then like the 2008 crash happened. So I moved back to my hometown and I went to church and they're like, what is he doing here? Why is he here?
Wow.
So I never went to church again. I didn't question my like Christianity. I just didn't live by it, you know?
Yeah.
Feel like an outcast, right?
Oh yeah, always.
Like Steve told us earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, even to like, okay, I want to bring that back. Fighting professionally, because like, what did you do? Like, what was your sport? Like, what was?
Well, I started. My grandparents, to keep me out of trouble,
Yeah.
put me in karate when I was 5.
Okay.
And then when I was with my dad in Kansas, I started wrestling since I was 8.
You got the wrestler belt for sure.
Yeah,
Don't mess with Scotty T.
I was tall and scrawny always, man. I
Really?
graduated. Yeah,
You're
I was a
stuck as
baller.
fuck
I was a
now.
basketball bro. I'm a baller
Oh,
until my leg.
You can
Yeah,
jump
Yeah,
a 3 real quick, eh?
yeah. I can hoop. I can hoop. But you know, I mean, I think the fighting thing was just kind of came natural. And also getting jumped all the freaking time as a
Yeah.
kid. But
Yeah, it's just a natural thing, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't love it. I'm just good at it.
Mhm.
Like I don't like fighting. I'm just good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to get into that, like that transition where you're like, okay, I know how to use credit. I know how to build credit out of like desperation, but it works. What made you think I need to teach people this or I need to build a community?
Yeah. So that actually didn't happen until super recently.
Really?
Yeah. But okay. So after COVID and getting like losing that big deal and then leveraging credit to go back and scaling, this is honestly when it kind of clicked. But now Rachel and I are together and we move in together. She was a travel ER trauma nurse during COVID times, which is super brutal for any nurse, right? But she took a contract in Oklahoma City to be closer with me. And we moved in together and it was amazing. The epiphany for me was when she said, obviously there was a lot of struggle during that time and she was making dumb money. And if you're a travel nurse during COVID, what's understood doesn't need to be said.
Yeah.
They're making dumb money and she knew what I was going through. Coming from a place like I do with no support from anybody, I'm not the type to ask for anything.
Yeah.
I didn't have to with her. She said one simple thing and it triggered my fucking go-getterness like no other before.
Dog in you came out.
It was, no matter what, we will never be homeless or hungry. I got you.
Fuck. A woman to say that to
Yeah.
you, that is...
That gives me goosebumps because
Yeah.
that just comes out of pure love.
Yeah.
And that's something that like talking to you, that's not something you've had prior to that.
No, never. She is the first person ever in my entire life where it's like, it's okay if I fail because I won't fail with her because I know I can't quit.
Was
Right?
she the first person that broke your walls down?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you feel about that? Like when you think back?
Appreciative. You know, it's like I mean, yeah, that we as men we're supposed to be like masculine and whatnot, but we're also supposed to be soft and kind to our women. And it's like, you know, she breaks that. And,
I fucking
you know?
love it.
And I can relate to that because like we started talking about our dogs earlier today, right? And like we showed each other the dogs. Our dogs are
we get all
beautiful.
happy and
We'll add some pictures of your dog and my dog.
Yeah.
My point is like same thing kind of happened to me like with my wife right now. Like I was going through a dark time like 3 years ago, very dark time. Got my puppy, walked with him every single day, and every single day for like 365 days straight, I would walk with him and pray because I was in such a dark time. But she would always be like I have your back.
Yeah,
I'm here for you. Like no matter what, baby. Like I got you. And it's weird because like you said, like men are we're supposed to be alpha, we're supposed to be big, but like it's important to have the right woman in your life because that can make or break you.
100%. You know, a human being can't live without a body, right? Yeah. What did it say in the Bible? The man is the head, the woman's the neck. They're supposed to hold us up. And that's exactly what she did when she said that. I didn't need money from her. I didn't, at that point, I was like, she said that, and I'm like, okay, baby, you know, give me like 20, 30,000. No, I didn't need that. All I needed was that little sense of security that I've never had in my life. And it was go time. Yeah. I invested a lot of money into, I'm still doing deals. So I went all in. Got access to more credit. I started learning about business credit stacking, and you know, getting more credit. And then it's like at the same time, remember, I was selling a little bit of credit repair here and there, $200 for a whole credit repair thing. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm making $200,000 a month in the real estate, and like $1,000 a month helping 5 people on credit repair, and I got to do all this work? Hell no. So I stopped doing that. But then remember, I invested into like more credit programs because I needed it. I needed the shit for myself, not with the intent to sell it. And so I'm learning it. And then I scale it nationwide. And that's when a good friend of mine, Nick Perry, 7-figure cartel member, again, one of the top 50 wholesalers in the country. He created an educational program that really changed the entire wholesale industry to going nationwide. He started the whole nationwide facade. And we were friends on Facebook, and I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? I have to know. He's like, dude, hey, I'm coming out with a program in like a week. I'll let you know when it's out. So I was actually the first member of his program, and it allowed me to go from just Oklahoma to nationwide. And at that same time, there was another platform that just came out, InvestorLift. InvestorLift is a platform that has all buyer data in the entire country. So I was one of the very first users on this platform. That's perfect, because if you're familiar with wholesaling, to find buyers in a new market, it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like part of Nick's program was selling his buyer list for $100,000. And then he never talked about it again because InvestorLift popped up. No, so InvestorLift and, you know, having Nick Perry as a mentor allowed me to go nationwide. And that's when, you know, the good money started coming in.
What do you think separated you from everybody else, right? Because you would have had some other people in the competition with you and also doing the same thing or thinking the same way. But what really separated you from the group?
See, just the tenacity to keep going when like the market shit, like COVID, I kept going. I had a partnership fallout again, and I thought about quitting, and then I do everything myself, and then I make $300,000 the next month. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't quit. I'm too good at this, right? And
he's got the dog in him.
And then it's like, oh dang, the interest rate spike a couple years ago, and another roller coaster ride there, and it was like right around that time. Well, I'd moved from Oklahoma to Lake Havasu, Arizona, and that's when I started delegating. I delegated my entire business to another top wholesaler in the country. And at this time, I was spending around $30,000 a month in just PPC, so Google Ads. And, you know, I kind of like lost everyone, but my machine, my company was just so freaking solid. I'm like, I can't stop this. It's too good. Let me pass these leads over to a team that's also doing like $250,000 a month, and just allow them to close the deals and for like 50-50.
When did you realize it was time to create your own team? You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to run a business, but it's one thing to lead people. So when did you know it was the right time, and how did you do that?
Well, that's my biggest weakness. And that's why I can't answer the question, what do you think separates you? Nothing. What separates me is I'm a fucking hustler, and I'll go in there and I'll work anybody. But you can't do that, because you have to fire the hustler to become the CEO. And that's something that I didn't do when it came to real estate. I made a fuck ton of money when I was in there grinding. I never fired the hustler. And that's why I lost my team and my partnership that I had in Oklahoma, because I moved away. When I moved away, I can't be in there in the grind hustling every day with my squad. We feed off each other's energy and motivation. When I'm tired, you lift me up type shit. But you can't do that when I move. And so I wasn't prepared to lead a team, especially virtually. Right?
100%.
And so that's kind of what happened there. And why in Arizona, I got back in the grind. I made a fuck ton of money. I turned back everything. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to delegate all this. And that was right in the middle of her contract in Arizona ended. And we decided to move to Vegas because she got another job opportunity. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to delegate this. I'm going to keep my lead machine going, close the deals 50-50, whatever. Let's go to Vegas and I'll operate a new team. I'll start a new team.
Yeah, 100%. Looks like there's some food here or something. No, but yeah, no, that, yeah, 100%. But that, man, like that's like it's incredible both to me to hear that journey. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like to see like how far you've gone and how like how you took over. So CreditLift. What was like what was your highest moments in CreditLift? I know you just got acquired, right? You recently just got bought out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you know it was ready to sell?
So that wasn't planned at all.
Huh.
I actually want to go back about 1 year before
do it.
CreditLift. Is that okay?
Of course, brother.
Because it's important. All right. So I don't know. I'm going to roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the boys. They should be getting the pizzas.
Even too, I'll say this right now. A little disappointed in the back cast. You know what I mean? One, it's crazy. I actually want to share this with you guys because like I don't really have a tight relationship with my father. Remember, you guys heard my phone going off.
Mm-hmm.
That's who was calling me right there.
No shit.
And I literally said, I was like, I'll call you back. I'm on a fucking crazy podcast.
That's okay.
I will show you guys if we can pop it up right here.
Yeah.
I'll say this right now. I haven't talked to this motherfucker and I'll say this right now. Like all to you guys, I haven't talked to this motherfucker in probably like 6 months or more.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm not willing to take away from the moment I'm at right now with someone like you, to talk to him. And it's no shade. It goes back to it. It's like you get what you give.
That's pretty powerful, bro.
Yeah,
Like that
true.
is damn. Okay, anyway. Okay, so a year before like CreditLift.
Cheers to that.
Right? Like explain that. You were just on that note.
Yeah. So my LLC name for my credit stuff is actually Bureau Bully.
Bureau
A bully. You bully.
You get it? My logo was a bully.
Yeah.
And it's Bureau Bully. The reason why.
Yo, yeah, sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
show
me
the
and
cams
my
out.
dog. That's my Scotty T logo. New Money Movement is my brand. Yeah.
I love it, bro.
But so the Bureau Bully is actually my LLC name, but I rebranded it to All In Credit because I'm the only person who really focuses on all four aspects of credit.
Yeah.
And I didn't really decide to scale the credit company yet because, real estate doing killer, top 50 wholesalers in the country. And InvestorLift has a real estate mastermind every year for the top 50 wholesalers in the country.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was in Dominican Republic a few years ago. And at that mastermind, the biggest takeaway that I got there had nothing to do with real estate. It was, whoa, everybody here that's doing a minimum $250,000 a month. That's the requirement to be a cartel boss with InvestorLift.
Crazy.
Nobody here was leveraging credit for their business.
Wow.
And if they were doing it completely wrong, using the wrong cards. Like, it was insane to me. Like, running everything out of their checking. I'm like, whoa, they're doing it all wrong. Like, I wonder what happened to them during COVID. Did they pause their operation, or did they keep spending $50,000 to $100,000 a month out of their checking account without closing a deal for 3 to 6 months? Like, that's a lot of burned cash.
Yeah.
I didn't. I put everything on 0% interest credit. So I was paying 1% of what I was spending per month as they're spending $150,000 over 3 months.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we go back? I don't think you really highlighted it enough. You literally just said top 50 wholesalers across the country.
Mhm.
That, like, when you say that, you say it so nonchalant. You know, you say it like it ain't big. That is something that is like, I don't want to like, yeah, it's like being an Olympic medal. Touch up on that. Like, how the fuck did you get there?
I don't know, man. I just don't feel like it's that like big of a deal to me, to be honest.
Come
I
on.
feel like there's such
Give
bigger
someone
things.
No,
man.
but like I
And-
hear
and-
that because like I feel like you've just been so much in the flame
Yeah.
where like you can't even appreciate that because that's part of your process. It's part of your journey.
Yeah,
That's part of
yeah.
like you like fighting through that flame, right? So
Yeah.
like I one thing you said though is there's 4 categories of credit, right? Or there's,
Yeah.
like, you're the only one who's doing that. What are
Mhm.
those 4 categories?
So it's personal credit. So the business owner, and this is what I identified at this event, right? The Cartel Boss Summit was, all right, this is literally when I molded this service was, remember everything that I'd been doing for myself. I'm like, wait a minute, they don't have credit. So how can I implement what I do for them into their business? And that starts with the 4 categories of credit, right? Personal credit. You as the business owner, what's your personal credit score like? Is it shitty? Do you need credit repair? Do you need credit establishment? What's your business credit like? Do you even have business credit? 99.9% of businesses don't. They don't even know how to establish it or that it exists. 3, credit stacking. What credit cards and capital and lines of credit do you have access to? Most business owners only have like a few credit cards and they're using the wrong credit cards in the wrong expense. So that's 3. And 4, remember, we're in the Dominican Republic. Tell me why. These are all names everybody that sees this video will know. Tell me why I'm the only one who flew first class and didn't pay for it.
Crazy.
Come on, is that not like a light bulb? Oh shit. And that's when I created my little done for you package. And, you know, Nick Perry being a good friend of mine, I was his first mentee. He brought me a lot of clients. I serviced a lot of people. I was making, this is a little side hustle, like 30 to 50 grand a month, just doing that 100% by myself, bootstrapping that shit while wholesaling and going through all that roller coaster ride of moving and, you know, delegating my whole operation to another team and them not closing a single deal in 3 months. So me burning through like $150,000. It was a little less than that, but like it's a fuck ton of money to just burn and them not closing deals.
100%.
So I paused that. And I'm like, all right, I'm in Vegas now and I'm not moving again. I love Vegas. And here we are in Scottsdale. But I still live in Vegas, by the way. This is just the second spot. But so it's like, all right, we're in Vegas. Rachel has a job that isn't killing her mentally and physically. She's getting to help people and bless her heart. Now, I need to focus on reestablishing a foundation for my wholesale operation. And I need to focus on a team. And it's something I never really focused on before. And that's when I got an office in Henderson, which literally in 2 days is the last day that I'll have that office because here we are.
Yeah, the new office.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why do you keep saying little? And the reason I ask you that is you said it multiple times,
Mm.
and it might be little to you, but when I hear it, I'm like, little. What do you mean little? So, do you really tap into it? I don't see it as little, but to you it is. What makes it so little?
Damn. Because we can always do better. There's always bigger and better. There's always someone out there doing better than you, right? We might be the 50 top wholesalers in the country that we know of on this platform. There's always, bro, the biggest ballers out there don't talk about it.
Yeah.
So there's always someone bigger and better out there, right? I mean, I learned that in fighting all my life.
Yeah.
Scotty, you're going to get your ass whooped someday. There's always someone bigger and better. I fucking hope. Yeah. Never found them though. But they're out there. Don't get me wrong.
Scotty T.
Don't get me wrong.
Scotty
They're
T,
out
the
there.
fucking G.
No, they're out there.
Yeah. I love that.
They're
I love
out
that. Okay, so you go to this event, you see the opportunity. You're the only one flying for free, first class.
Yeah.
So then you're like, okay, I need to do something with this.
Yeah.
So take us through like that launch, and then like when you knew, okay, I'm doing exactly what the hell I was supposed to do.
Yeah. So I start back my wholesale operation, get back to that point. And at the same time, I had another friend come to Vegas and visit me. I'm like, yeah, yada, yada. He kind of wanted to move there. I was like, yo, I might have an opportunity for you. Because I was doing like the credit stuff on the side.
Yeah.
making good money and whatnot.
Casual,
Yeah,
50K a month.
Casual, just like no marketing, just word of mouth, right? Remember, my network is insane, right?
Yeah,
and so it's
yeah.
like they have hundreds of students. They need help. Everybody needs help. And I'm just that guy. So I'm known as the credit guy in real estate.
Yeah.
And so I got plenty of referrals and plenty of business without ever having to run marketing. I was like, yo, man, I could use some help on this company. And so, yeah, he helped me out a lot. Really went back into the real estate. Jesse, who you know, who's here with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesse's
I
young
love
dog.
Jesse.
Young
Yeah.
dog. I
bro.
love Jesse.
Yeah.
So Jesse is actually a CreditLift's travel concierge specialist.
Wow.
But he actually started with me as my acquisition manager. He was on the phones
Yo,
dying.
what?
Uncapped fans. Want to build your business credit and unlock new financial opportunities for your company? Check out CreditLift. They offer tailored credit building plans, expert advice, and tools to help your business thrive.
As a loyal listener to our podcast, you can get started through our exclusive link below. Strengthen your business credit and take your company to the next level today.
Thanks for supporting our sponsors.
And now back to the show.
Yeah. So yeah, we're in an office. It's real estate. And then, you know, I got a couple people with Bureau Bully just helping me out and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was with my real estate kind of took a crash because I'm a very giving person. And a couple friends wanted to be involved and they want to be partners. And it's like, hell yeah, of course you can.
Yeah.
No experience, no business experience, nothing, no contributions. And I started everything back up with them involved. They want to be partners, you know, 33, 1/3 across the board. And since I had such a bad experience during my first deal, I was like, okay, I'm never going to partner up with anybody.
Yeah.
Like, this is a company that I've made millions on. And I'm not just going to give away like fucking that much of it, right?
Yeah.
With no contribution. So I set up a very fair like profit sharing agreement where I will never make a penny more than you guys. And during the time, like, okay, I know how to do it. They had no history. So, all right, here's some cold callers, here's a lead list, here's a dialer, create a new CRM. All right, now here we are, $10,000 a month in PPC. Like, all this is happening. But at the same time, I was traveling a lot. I spent a month and a half in New Zealand and Fiji getting married. We eloped. By the way, our parents still don't know. But
Dude, I love how you're so nonchalant when you speak about the biggest things in your life.
it's just life, brother.
Just like
There's so much big out
Scotty
there.
Tregellas, that's what I always call you.
But yeah, so I was gone for so long, and a month and a half there. I might have went to a few festivals during the time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
A little dabble.
Yeah, you know,
The boys gotta be boys sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
So, but they weren't closing any deals or doing anything. Come to find out, they didn't do anything while I was gone.
Yeah, wow.
And I'm spending a shit ton of money. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
I just invested into this office space and yada yada yada. And it was getting to a point where I was hurting financially. I'm like, this is not making sense. Like, yeah, I got a fuck ton of available credit, but it doesn't make sense when you're just using it all.
Yeah.
And so yeah, got rid of one guy, and then the next guy hung out for a little bit longer, and you know, that's when I started hiring Jesse and his brothers and everyone who I have now came in right around then. And yeah, they just didn't understand business. The dude, I let go of him, and he like stole everything, bro. Like, logged into my InvestorLift account, fucking deleted all my deals. Luckily, you know, I'm kind of best friends with the owner, so I recovered everything.
Yeah.
But by the time I recovered everything, he quickly made InvestorLift accounts, had deals posted up there, and he had enough time to reach out to sellers, buyers, title companies. I lost over 6 figures in pending deals that month.
It's kind of like what the muscle said at the event. He's like, don't try to impress people. It's not about like, oh, I love you, I'm gonna do this for you.
Right.
Like, it's about trust.
Right.
Trust is the most important thing, right? So like, I'm sure that's like a huge lesson that you learned, and it was a blessing in disguise, right?
Yeah, but how many times does that have to happen?
True. So even too, you have such a big heart. It's been exposed right here. It's been said.
Mhm.
How have you been able to keep coming back and still being the same person and sharing the love you have?
I refuse to ever change who I am because of someone else. Like, because of your faultiness, it doesn't need to bleed onto me.
Yeah.
Right? I am who I am, and I'll never change. No amount of money will change me. No, nothing. Nothing will change me.
Okay.
You know your sorry. I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to ask you this. What is your ethos? Because we talked about that. We heard that. I don't know if you were in the room because you're Pat David, so that's real big right there. So I'm
He's
gonna
cool.
name drop that. But what is your ethos? What do you live by?
I don't know what that means. Ethos. What is that?
Ethos is like your guiding principles, right? So like you have your values, your morals. Like ethos is like why are you here? You know what I mean?
Man.
It's a deep question, so
That
that's a
is.
heavy question.
Yeah, it hit us.
You know, I'd love to think about that and answer that another time, but I will answer it as much as I can right now. I think I'll answer it kind of like, what is my purpose? Would that be similar?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's give it
Okay. I feel like my purpose is to be the person that I never had in my life for others who need people like I needed. That's my purpose, I think.
Yeah.
I believe it. Believe it really hard because you honestly, I would say this: your heart's way too big, and some fucking how you're willing to still scrape off a little piece of flesh off yourself to give to others.
Brother, even you sitting down with us.
yeah,
Like, I mean that. Like, we're a small podcast from Canada. You know what I mean? And what he's saying is facts. It's like the fact that like your heart is so big, man. Like you keep on giving and giving and giving. And like that's a blessing. And like, of course, you got screwed over a couple times, but that's
Still keep
special.
giving.
That's
Yeah.
special.
Still
Like
keep
people who
giving.
are making the money that you're making, like some of them just say, fuck off.
Right now. No, man, no, we're all human. And that's the thing. It's like I've been in low places, I've been in the high places, and we're all human.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like monetary shit doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so you build your
Empire.
company, right?
Yeah.
You build your empire,
Yeah.
and then you first of all, when you first started, take us through the years and how big it got before you sold it.
oh man.
Let's talk some numbers. Let's talk
Yes.
some numbers, baby.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's talk some numbers.
yeah. Shock our fans. Shock our network.
Shock our country.
So you'll be all right. So it's crazy. So right around when the wholesale stuff, when my friends that wanted to be partners and I gave them like 33% of profit sharing.
That's way too much.
Yeah, I know. They
Right?
never paid a penny and never made a dime. So, so after all that, it was a big hit. And right around that time, it was almost Christmas and New Year's. And every year, no matter where it's at in the world, Robert and I will meet up and we'll go hang out for New Year's. And he had just started dating Marita, his now fiance, and she's from Norway. So they were doing Christmas in Norway with her family. And then he was like, hey, we're also going to rent a huge cabin up in the mountain, you know, some Robert Winsley shit.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he had his brother, Luigi, our content guy, and me and my wife. And, you know, so it was fun. We flew out to Norway for about a month and a half. And he told me that, because I was telling him about like what happened. We were really talking about the whole, hey, this guy like got in my investor lift, deleted everything, made an account, you know. And he was like, bro, you need to stop everything you're doing and just go all in on the credit stuff. What you have is gold. And I'm like, all right. I'm sorry, but when someone worth $250 million tells you to do something, you fucking do it.
Yeah.
Wait, how did you meet Robert?
Yeah.
Like
I was one of the first InvestLift users. I was one of his
Oh,
original
yes.
users. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I recently heard a story because I wanted the same thing. I'm like, why does Robert like me so much? Why did he want to like? He has over 1,000 InvestLift users. Why are we friends?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why does he call me up and say, hey, let's go to Norway. Hey, let's go to Puerto Rico. Hey, let's go to Dominican Republic. Hey, I'm here. Come up. And, you know, we have a little thing. You call, we ball. Anytime you call, we ball. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yo, we're implementing that with us.
Yeah, you call, we ball.
If I call you, we ball it.
yeah, you call, we ball. Let's go. So I wonder that. And I recently found out when we went to F1 in Vegas last year, why they were telling a story to Rachel, why we're so close and why he loves me. And but I don't think that's my story to tell. But it took years. I was like, whoa, really?
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
Do you think, okay, so you just said that it's not your story to tell. Do you think it's just how fucking good of a person you are is literally why you're at where you're at?
That too. I mean, obviously his fiance does say, you know what, we have a lot of friends, but there's only certain people that you trust with everything in your life.
It comes back to trust.
Yeah.
It all comes back to trust, right?
Yeah. I'll say this to you. I fucking trust you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like the way you like brought us into your home, like everything like that. And even to just sharing your story, I fucking trust you.
Yeah.
I would, if you want to go to work, I'll go to work with you.
See, likewise.
Yeah.
And that's just who I am as a person. Like I want to be as good of a human to you guys as possible. And we just met last night, around this time last night. You know, and it doesn't even matter, right? I'd literally do anything for you guys. Yeah. And that's why I've been burnt so many times. But you know what? I refuse to change. Right? If I would have let what they did to me affect who I am as a human being, we wouldn't be here tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll never change.
Okay, so you met a crazy Canadian from Calgary, Mr. Robert.
Robert
Right here. You know that. So then he decides to acquire a company. Okay, my first question is, was it hard for you to sell the baby that you like nourished? You know, you grew into such a big thing.
That's a fucking good one, bud.
So here it is in December, and he says, go all in on this. So I finally decide to go in on coaching. And I'm not a guru guy. I hate gurus. And I don't hate the people. Like, I know all the gurus in the real estate space, the biggest, and I love them dearly and personally. But the thing is these programs and courses, they're never exactly what someone needs and what you pay for. So I just hate the whole facade. Yeah. But so I actually did come out with an educational program that, me being the giving person I am, there's no secrets left in that thing. I want to be the complete opposite of every program or course that I've ever paid for. Yeah. There's everything you need in there. And so I went all in on that. And here it was about 6 months. It was a roller coaster ride because I paused everything. There was no other income anywhere else. So it's like, I'm going all in on this, and still all 100% organic. No paid marketing or anything, and was doing good, like anywhere from like 50 to 100,000 a month, just straight organic.
Good, just good Canadians. Good.
But remember, I'm still like recovering from like this bad shit that happened from the real estate stuff. You know? And so I'm going all in on that, and then I get presented with an opportunity to partner up with Andy Elliott as a brand partner. Boom, which is pretty big. Like, dude, here's what shook me. Like, I fuck around with a lot of high level people who are big names, but I don't even realize how big they are because they're just friends of mine and they're people. This is like, I kind of came up with them during the real estate times, right? 100%. So it's like, I don't really see them as that. Now, what I see is like big is like, oh shit, Andy Elliott is like #1 dude on the internet right now. But he heard about me. And he wanted to meet me. And a lot of people have been talking about me. So they call and it's like, hey, Andy wants to meet you. You want to come down to Scottsdale? I'm like, well, fuck. I'm down here all the time. Take
us to that moment. Like, how are you feeling? Like, we just came from a Andy Elliott event. I'm telling you right now, I kissed that bald head and I said, yo,
epic.
And I said, brother, I said, you killed the old me and I'm changing. Like, it's so powerful. Like, take us through like someone like that wanting to meet you. Like what are you feeling in that exact moment? Like, is it like something that like you're like, okay, I knew this was gonna happen, or
no. No, it's hard to describe my feelings. I don't know what they are. I don't know. I'm not really a feelings type of guy. I have a lot of feelings. Don't get me wrong. I have all of them. But it's hard to describe them.
Yeah.
I'll get better at that because my wife is a psychiatric physician. So I'll have her, hopefully we'll send her this and make a little reel out of this. Like, I don't know how to express my feelings, let alone explain them. So Rachel, work on me.
I even too remember you said to us, it's like, you don't go to people and be like, I'm this guy. You literally wait for them to come to you because you're already putting that work in always.
Yeah.
So they'll realize who you are, and that's where you get your value, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about that earlier with, like, you know, Bradley and other big names. Oh shit, you're right. I guess I didn't even realize that that's exactly what happened with Andy Elliott.
Yeah,
that is. So yeah, he wanted to meet me, and so I came down here. You call, we ball. I came down here, went to the office, and he said, "So what do you do?" Blah 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 blah. Explain. I said, gave my little spiel and pitch, and he's like, "Well, we help brands blow up." And I said, "Look, this is what I said to Annie. First time I met him, I said, you know, every time I pray, there's one thing that I always include in my prayer, and it is, God, please shine light on the path that I'm supposed to walk. So I know which path I'm supposed to go." And I said, Andy, I think that I am here because of that. Why else would I be here? I have given so much that I've only been taken advantage of. And I think I'm here because it is my time to blow up. And I'm ready for that. And she's like, well, let's do it. And so I go home and you know, talk to my wife about it. And she's very good at reading energy and reading people. And she's like, you know what, it was a big ticket. You have to pay to play with people this big.
100%.
I mean, it was 6 figures.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, for the first time, this is something that I feel good about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's it then. That is it. Like, she's the CEO of my life. Well, God is the CEO of my business and my life. But and then my wife.
Yeah.
She's my only boss.
So what was like the Elliott effect, right? Because you're very successful with your business, and then Andy Elliott comes on. Like, did that like 10x your business? Like, how big of an impact?
Guys, this was less than a month ago.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's
why I have. That's why you asking this, and I have to keep going backwards.
So we're catching you like on the climb, brother.
Dude, I'm right there. Guys.
Damn.
You guys are catching me before I go big, but I'll never change. I'll never change, guys.
No, but bro, I love it.
I want to ask you this: why are you so fucking attached to God? And like, not in a bad way, but like, why do you always look back, right? Because a lot of us, like, I can say myself, like, I've been talking to him a lot about this. Like, he's really brought a lot of faith into my life. A lot of time I try to stray, everything like that. Why?
So, one, we were all at the same event, Steve Weatherford, and I told you guys,
he's a goat.
How the same church that changed his life changed mine. Awaken Church out of San Diego, best freaking church I've ever been to. They throw amazing events. Emerge. Rachel and I are going to a marriage retreat this next weekend down in SoCal. I went there. It was my content team. They're out of San Diego before, you know, partnering up, obviously. Yeah. And they invited me. I don't know why, but I felt like I needed to call you and invite you to this. And it was crazy, perfect timing. I probably wouldn't have done it. I'm too busy. Probably wouldn't have done it if I wasn't going through the roller coaster bullshit with real estate and my partners and all that. Like, I needed answers, right? And he invited me out to this conference, and it's a Christian business conference. Yeah, I'm talking billionaires. Like, well, dude, like, one of them low key is buying an NFL team right now. He couldn't tell us which one. Right. I mean, these are like very wealthy people and they're very Christian driven. And at this time, so my friends were sitting down at the bottom because they're a part of the church. I'm sitting at the very top by myself. I'm not a people person, by the way. I'm not.
I'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
The way you accepted that, I'd be fucking surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, thanks. I overcome fears too. I will not defeat myself. But so I'm sitting up by myself, and they said something that like changed my life and perspective. And I said, you've heard this before from me maybe a couple times tonight, is make God the CEO not only of your business but your life. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I did. That weekend, while I was still in San Diego, I had one of the biggest months ever with my credit stuff. Wow. While I was still there, it was like a 3-day event. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, it was crazy. I'm like, okay.
You've been living your life. Honestly, it's like when you hear the whole story, watch this whole episode, you've been living your life as the person I think God would want you to
Well,
be.
the thing is, like, God gives his strongest soldiers the biggest battles.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's something he really did with you, brother.
And that's how I know to never give up, never lose faith. And I know that the reward is going to be insane. Insane. And because like when I go through some bullshit, I just smile. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't wait for that reward.
Yeah.
Because like how you react. Yeah, my wife says like I'm very reactive, but I'm like deep down, I'm like, I'm actually not.
Mhm.
I used to beat the fuck out of people for stepping on my shoes, and you're saying I'm reactive? Hell no. And it's like I've grown up, I've matured, I've trained myself out of that. And it's like, yeah, on a micro level, I think I am like reactive to situations, but I think that's like my like trauma defense mechanism that I put up.
Yeah.
But nah.
Yeah.
So we go from that. That is the reason why like I stay true to my faith. It changed my life. I kind of like, just like Steve said yesterday, it was brought back into his life.
Yeah.
It was brought back into my life.
Yeah.
Even found a church in Vegas, which of course, like Ryan Pineda introduced me to my golf coach. Well, he introduced me to the church as well. It's a great church.
Yeah.
How excited are you to build your next legacy with kids?
I want kids. I do. I can't wait to mold some little shitlins.
Yeah.
Little nervous though. A little mixture of me and Rachel. That's scary. That's scary. Yeah. I can't wait though. I can't wait to be the person that I never had.
Yeah. That's special. And I think they're lucky. When you do have kids, they're gonna be lucky to have a father like you, brother. But I want to get back. We're going all over the place, but I feel like it's because like we actually just met yesterday.
We did.
You know what I mean? So like I don't blame it at all.
Yeah.
But like so when Robert acquired like the company, if you don't mind me asking, how much did he acquire it for?
Ooh. So there's still NDAs in play.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So yeah, we can't talk numbers yet.
No worries.
Because CreditLift LLC doesn't even exist yet.
Mm.
Like that's how new this is. So it's been less than a month.
So we literally caught you right up.
You literally
at this.
Yeah.
The
So
rocket ship's about to blow.
like dude, it's crazy. So the Andy Elliott partnership, I was like, all right, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like it's a 6-figure deal. And I have other friends, like Eric Klein. Do you guys know who that is?
Yeah. PBD literally shouted him out while he was talking. He's
That
like,
was wild.
Eric,
That was
he literally looks. He's like, Eric Klein, where is he?
Okay.
Looks to his right. And he's in the
That
corner.
is different.
Yeah.
Shout out to my brother Eric Klein. The motherfucker is a beast. Like
I love
that dude can sell anything, and he's a heart of gold. And he has a great story. He doesn't even know my story. I can't wait to share it with him.
Yeah.
Because it's similar, you know.
Yeah.
Eric, watch this.
Eric, yo.
Except for what I think the difference is that I stopped fucking around with drugs in 8th grade. That's when I decided to not. I recognized early. I'm like, all right, that guy where I lived, that environment. I grew up in meth labs. I was in meth busts, and that is who I was expected to be. The town expected me to be that guy, and I'm like, no. I'm the type to really prove people wrong, and so I never really got into like the drugs and stuff. Thank God, but that was the environment I lived in. So yeah, we both have pretty good stories. So shout out to Eric Klein, especially. Bro, I know my shout out doesn't mean as much as Patrick Bet David, but love you, brother. That was
Yeah.
dope. That was so dope.
But one thing I asked you like before coming here was were you like something to drink? And you're like, I don't really drink anymore. You know, I like my wine, right? So take us through like, I guess, like what made you shift?
Yeah. Well, two things. So a couple years ago at Thanksgiving, I took a shot. Like it was like turkey or something, some gross shit. And like my entire face. My Rachel's nephew was like, Scotty, are you sunburned? I'm like, no, it's winter, bro. We were there for like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And but I did feel hot. Like the whole half of my body got like super red and tingly and itchy.
Yeah.
I kind of had like a breakout. So I was wondering if I have some sort of allergic reaction. I'm like, I don't know. But the other part was I found psychedelics.
Yeah.
And like I did an acid trip a couple years before that. So about four years ago for the first time.
Yeah.
Remember, I strayed away from drugs. Drugs are taboo. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then I found psychedelics, and honestly, so thankful for it. Right? It's called an ego death.
Yeah.
Right? My one and only acid trip completely killed my ego.
Take us through that. Like,
Yeah.
what were you experiencing?
Dude, it was in Texas. It was after COVID. It was the very first EDM festival since COVID.
What EDM festival did you go to?
It was Ubby Dubby.
Okay.
Ubby Dubby.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ubby Dubby in Texas. And it was amazing, man. I mean, the show itself. But yeah, drop some acid and you don't know. Like acid was too much to handle in a big public place, but like you don't know what it's doing to you.
Yeah.
So doing a little candy flip.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
If you
That's
know,
all
you
you
know.
know.
I did a little candy flip and I was like, wow, the entire world needs to experience this once.
Yeah.
And we'd probably stop all wars.
Wow.
And I really feel like that day really, I like that feeling for people, I think was always embedded in me, but it wasn't expressed and implemented.
Like
as
take
much
us
until
through that. What do
day.
you mean that feeling for
Love.
people?
I just
pure
I love
love.
everybody. Love everybody. Zero hate.
Wow.
Like, remember the fuck me, fuck you mentality?
Yeah.
It's a fuck me, I love you mentality.
Wow.
Like you're a hurt, you're a broken. I pray that God heals you.
I really do understand what you say when you say that, because it's kind of scary for you to even get in that moment, right? Because like that's the most vulnerable way you could ever be, right? You're so filled with love, right? And you express love to others, but you don't know if it's coming back, but you don't care. You know that's the right feeling.
Have you ever tried acid, Kuga?
No, I haven't, but I've had it with mushrooms. Like I can actually very honestly say it. I've had my ego death with mushrooms. I think I need it again one more time, and I'll be very honest with that. I think for mine, if I share it with you guys, and I'm more than happy to share it with you. Like you're the perfect person. I remember I was sitting in a room and I actually started spiraling, where I just kept reliving the same moment over and over and over. And when I think back on it, the reason I think I lived that moment over and over is I never got through it. Where it really told me, you haven't broken through this. And after I got over it, I was like, wow. I'm like, even too, I said to him, I don't think I'm at the person where I need to be. But it really cracked the ice to, guess what? This is literally where you're supposed to go. Are you going to live it? And I found more than recently, it's like the more I surround with myself around the people I need to be, I'm getting closer and closer every time. Even too, like, I honestly, bro, I'll give you so much credit that bringing me closer to God. I'm just getting more closer and closer. It's there. How long is it going to take me? I hope it takes I hope it's there faster than I projected it to be. But I know it's there. That light at the end of the tunnel. Everyone always talks about it, right? I remember closing my eyes and I seen light. It's there.
Yeah.
But when am I going to hit it? I hope it happens. It's going to happen. I don't even want to say hope. Because hope is somebody that doesn't believe.
Manifest. It will happen.
Exactly.
And when it does, I'll be ready for it.
Exactly.
Can I educate you a little bit on psychedelics?
Let's tell me.
So
Let's go. Let's dive in on that.
You've heard me mention my wife is a psychiatric physicist. She's in school, right?
Yeah.
She went back to school. because she fell in love with the job offer she got in Vegas that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And what that was is a ketamine nurse. What does that mean?
Yeah.
She's been working in the ER. She pumps ketamine in people to make them go fucking paralyzed and break their legs back in place, and they're just not there.
Ketamine's first tranquilizer, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
But they use it a lot in the ER, like every day. So, well, in the trauma room, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, so her job in Vegas was a ketamine therapy.
Wow.
So people with PTSD, and it wasn't, you just can't go like, all right, you can go here in Phoenix and you can get hit with ketamine tomorrow, just go pump in, but that's just, it's not intentional. At their clinic, it was, you had to fail almost every drug that they give you for depression. You have to do therapy. You know, there's a lot of hoops.
There's a lot of like red tape before you get the ketamine.
Correct. And they were the only clinic that took insurance.
Oh wow.
So you got to help the people who couldn't afford to just pull up here in Scottsdale and get hit with some ketamine.
Yeah.
You know? So it was she was helping people who needed it the most.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get sidetracked, but I do want to mention one thing. It's about God. It's like people who were not religious at all after her therapy came back religious.
Wow.
One episode. I talked to God the whole time. All right. So back to the story. So psychedelics, I don't consider that a drug. I mean, I did, right? I'm anti-drug because it's like, hey, I don't want to be the victim of my childhood environment, right? So that's not, to me, that's not drugs. It's medicine, and especially mushrooms. But what was happening with you with those mushrooms is they do that in therapy. So MDMA, obviously, it creates that love.
The serotonin drop.
Yeah, the serotonin. And then the mushrooms with the psilocybin, and then the acid, the ego death, the psilocybin is more of like a therapy. What it does is if you have trauma locked in, even if you don't remember it, you don't face it, but it still affects who you are today. And I think that's what it does to me. Like, it affects us, right? It's like, oh, I'm reactive because I have this defensive trauma.
But we're complicated human beings. Man.
Absolutely.
Humans aren't simple. Like, I think that's the one thing I think what I've learned, at least living my life. I'm young. A lot of people say that we're not as simple as we think we are.
Yeah.
But take us through that though. Like, take us through that process.
What it does when you take that, it forces you to face that trauma. Because consciously, I don't ever want to face that trauma. Like Steve talked about what he did on stage.
Yeah.
And that's something that I don't want to mention.
That pissed me off. Like,
here,
I was like,
right?
I felt sick.
Yeah. That's a trauma that he had to face.
Yeah.
And without saying it, I just know my brother did some psychedelics a few times to get through to where he is right now. Faith and psychedelics, I promise you. And I'll ask him if I ever talk to him.
Yeah. Man, like, I wish I had an experience like you two. But when I took my mushrooms,
Oh no.
I was just staring at. I had a poster of Einstein back in my university.
This is already bad.
Yeah, back in my university dorm, and all I see is like MC squared, all the numbers popping out of the poster, and like I was like, whoa, like, am I getting enlightened right now? I look at my
smart.
yeah, I'm getting smart. I look at my phone, the emojis are jumping, and I'm like, fuck. No, I love the fact that like it is an ego death. Like, you're taking it like you shouldn't take it without intention. And that's the most important thing.
Therapy.
That's the most important thing. I was taking it with the boys in university with no intention, but I want to take it again with a full intention that, you know what, I'm gonna kill this. I'm like my life. I'm gonna live to the top. I'm gonna do it for my wife. I'm gonna do it for my family. I'm gonna live everything through God, and I want to take it with that intention.
I do it once a quarter. I actually just did it last week.
I'll say this.
Next quarter,
Yeah, I was gonna say this. I want to ask you, can we do it together?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd
I
be
really
incredible.
want to do that experience.
Come see me where I live.
Fuck
We
yeah.
will fly out there.
Come on now.
We'll fly out there. No, because like I feel like it's something that's like we gotta like you kind of have to talk about it.
Yeah,
it's like people always like they'll have a negative perspective on it, but like, man, like it's big.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
I'll say this: like, Keaton really hit me yesterday, and I said to him, "I'm fucking done trying to make people happy." Like, you know what I mean? Like, it really hit me, and me and him had our own conversation because me and him, like, we're always like this. I'm like, I'd rather not lie to you and tell you the fucking truth, because at the end of the day, it only strengthens a relationship. It only realistically, I don't want to lie to you, because what does that fucking do? It does nothing for a relationship. It does nothing for myself.
Yeah.
At this point in my life, I'm like, guess what? I'm done fucking saying, I'm done fucking making people happy. I need to make myself happy, and I need to live by truth.
You want to know? I love that, because another thing that I learned that weekend at Awaken was you cannot pour into others until you pour into yourself. So you cannot pour into others' cups until yours is full.
Yeah.
And that's why it is okay to be wealthy. It is encouraged to be wealthy, so you can pour into others' cups until yours is full and taken care of. So until you take care of yourself, it's okay to be, I hate the word selfish, but it's okay to be selfish.
Yeah.
Meaning, take care of yourself so you can give more than you ever could if you hadn't taken care of yourself.
It's kind of like what Jordan Peterson. Do you know Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, of course.
It's kind of what he says in the sense of like, don't try to fix the world unless your room's clean.
Yep.
Same.
Go talk right there.
It's the same.
Right?
But,
like, make sure you have your shit in order before you try to fix other people.
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So that's special. And one thing too that we spoke earlier, like I said, and it really hit me what you said. You were like, you know what? I'm out here. I'm working hard, but when I go home to my wife, I'm working even harder. Like, how do you keep that balance? And like,
That's something that I could definitely improve on. Like I also shared with you last week at Pineda's event when Andy was up there speaking. He was the main speaker. He invited me up to the event. And right when I was leaving the event, it was early. I'm like, hey, babe, freaking Andy Elliott just invited me to go hang out, go to this event, and like we're backstage, you know. And I know Pineda, so it's cool, you know. And saw some other friends from like that I've known since Oklahoma back there, so it was super dope, man. But one thing that she said to me before we left, kind of left in a grumpy mood, down and disappointed in myself and whatnot, because I knew she was right. She said, "You're always on your phones lately. We're not having conversation. When we're together, you're on your phones. There's no quality time," which that's her, love language is quality time. And
I feel like a lot of ladies.
Yeah.
My wife too.
I know. Hey, we'll do better. I promise. And
Starts now.
we can always improve. And and so he said on stage, like, "Hey, I do not have social media." He's a social media influencer. That's his job, but he doesn't even have social media on his phone. And I'm like, oh my God, I needed that. And like, it's something that I can definitely get better at, but it's something that I want to commit to.
Yeah.
Right. Because here I am, I'm in Scottsdale, right? Rachel's not here. She's at home with the puppers. And, but we got this place so that way we can be together more often.
Yeah.
If I do need to be here for like a couple weeks at a time, so it's everything I do, every move that I make has the intent of her next to me as much as possible.
Yeah.
So, but for those times that I can't be with her, like this weekend, next weekend, we're going to our event, but the following weekend, I'll be in Miami. The following weekend, I'll be in North Carolina. The following weekend, I'll be here in Scottsdale. And who knows about the next weekend, because a month is too far away.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how much time I have with her. So I really have to commit to working 10 times harder here and loving 10 times more there.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that made me like really trust Andy Elliott a lot was how highly he spoke of his wife. Like straight up, like honestly, like that's one of the biggest things to me was like all these like big individuals, right? Like quote unquote, like I love what you said. Like you don't idolize nobody, but all of these successful fucking people were just like praising their wives and saying how important it is to have a woman like that in your life, bro. I think that's probably one of my biggest takeaways. I already told this guy. Yeah, I'm going to go back to Canada, sit my wife down across the table and be like, baby, this is how things are going. Trust me.
Yeah. I like that you said that because I'm not a judgmental person. I'll leave that to the Lord. I don't care what you do, when you do, how you do it, but I will judge the fuck out of you based on how you treat your woman.
100%.
because that is a true testament of your character.
100%.
I don't care if you're a billionaire. If you're cheating on your wife, you're a piece of fucking shit.
100%. How can I do business with you if you're cheating on the person that you committed your whole life
The
to?
person closest to you, you cheat on them. I'm not shit to
all
you.
Day, all day. I was raised
100%.
by women, so I 100% factor on that. And even too, I love what Keenan said yesterday. I don't care at the end of the day if you don't like. It's not like, but he did say this. I hope my wife loves me, but they will fucking trust me. Because at the end of the day, they will know that I will always be there for them and take care of them. And
Right.
that's all that matters is trust.
Right.
That guy was hilarious.
Like for example, like Rachel said before Andy and I went to Pineda's event, said, you're always on your phone. She didn't say, we didn't fight or anything because she doesn't know who I'm talking to or what I'm doing on my phone. She knows what I'm doing. And she knows that I'm working, trying to build our empire. And it's like, I think that's why, like, I get defensive at first. It's like, I'm sacrificing this. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I like, when I'm not around you, I don't have pleasure. I'm grinding, right?
Yeah.
And I get defensive. And then at the event, Andy said that, I'll show you my phone after this. I just say, I love you.
Yeah.
During his speech.
Yeah.
I just text, I love you. Because she's right. Right? And it's like, so.
Again, bro, that gives me literal
Yeah.
goosebumps. No, it honestly gives me
Look,
goose.
yeah.
No, it honestly gives me goosebumps. And the reason why I say that, bro, is because like same thing here, man. Like that's the most important thing, bro. Like as a man, of course. Oh, I'm doing this for you, baby. You're the one staying at home. You're doing this. You're going on any vacation you want. Like, what are you comparing? That's not a man. That's not a man.
Not at all.
A man is going home, nurturing his queen, and understanding that without family, without queen, without God, you're nothing.
Right. And it's like understanding your woman or your husband is what is their love language, right? Rachel's is quality time. Okay. So fuck everything else. That is what matters to her most.
That's
and that
it.
is what I need to deliver.
That's it.
And that's what I haven't been, but that's what I need to start doing. So you see, I have two phones. One's work, one's personal. One has social media, one doesn't. And the one that does have social media, I have a calendar. I'll show you. I have 3 times that I check social media.
Wow.
I love that.
That's
So it's like
discipline.
I immediately implemented that.
Yeah. One question we always ask is, and I feel like with you, it's going to be a direct answer. But think about you back in the day, the little kid version of you. Would you be proud of the man you are today?
100%.
Let's fucking
What?
go.
What? Damn. Oh, I would have never imagined being where I am today. But you know what's weird is as a kid and even like early adult, that I always knew that I would be wealthy. I just never knew how. And all the way up until like 27, I just worked regular jobs or whatever. I was like, I know I'm going to be rich as fuck, but I don't know how. I always thought I was going to win the lottery or something, but I never played the lottery. So I'm like, well, fuck that. I'm like, how does this work, man? I'm like, I'm going to play it once and there it is. I'm that guy. Nope. But no, I mean, I'm not like ultra wealthy.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, but I love how you said that because the childhood version of yourself, I find like is the most genuine, authentic you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fact that you knew you were gonna like be wealthy, like that little kid knew. He knew the whole time.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'm still him. Him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is like this is a roller coaster ride. We're just riding. I just throw my hands up and hang the fuck on. Like I'm still him. Like you said, or someone asked, how old am I? I'm 34. You don't act like it. I'm like, I don't want to. I don't look it. I'm not gonna act
Repeat
it.
that line though. When you told me, I asked you. You said something like, you're like, why get richer and act old?
Yeah, that's boring.
old.
Why have money and act old? Like old people don't ball out. Like, dude, I wanna have fun, right? I wanna bring people up with me. Like it's
Even too, I will say this. I think you know where you're really rich? In the person you are.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
And
I think
that's
that is,
why,
I think, the biggest rich, like the most rich person you could be is the person you are. Because guess what?
100%.
I
Look
appreciate
at the
that.
people you brought around you. Look at look at the inspiration you have behind you. Because guess what? If you ever thought you weren't gonna be something, I hope somebody watches this and sees you.
Yeah.
Fuck, you have no fucking. You have no
And it's crazy
excuse.
because, like you told us, you're just getting started.
Exactly.
Oh, bro.
You just
We haven't even got to that part. How I sold my company a month ago.
Yeah, bro.
And
Yeah, we
NDAs,
just got to the
NDAs are
Andy Elliott
stopping us,
partnership, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
so I was here in Scottsdale because I mentioned Robert is the founder and CEO of InvestorLift, and he's got like 1,500 users, and he has created multiple millionaires off of his platform. We've got all the top wholesalers and real estate using his platform, and the biggest buyers in the country using his platform to buy properties and whatnot. And he wants to create an ecosystem that allows people to become successful all in one place.
Yeah.
Right. Just like with me with the credit, I'm the all in one credit,
Yeah.
which was my brand name, is All In Credit.
Yeah.
And so it's uplift, right? We're here to uplift people, investor lift, right? Lift, lead lift, call lift, right? All this lift.
Yeah.
And it all starts with me in the very beginning, right? Hey, if you're homeless living in a camper like I was, what's the first thing you need? Is it lead lift? No, it's credit lift. And that's how credit lift was like risen and emerged like the phoenix. It was credit lift. But at the same time we were doing that, I was like going from this to like this with All In Credit. Like it was time.
Yeah.
And I told him about it, and it was getting stressful. All right, I got to do this. And it's easy over here, hard over here. It's like I mentioned, it's like this glass of wine. Like the cup is cool, but it's not worth shit without the wine. Like we want to drink the wine, but you can't drink the wine without the cup. Well, that was me. The wine was All In Credit. The cup, the glass was Robert and InvestorLift.
Wow.
And so he heard about the Andy Elliott partnership. This could be big, right? He's like, well, first of all, he's like trying to talk me out of it. He's like, nah, maybe not. Like he'll be there in 3 months. I'm like, opportunities like this, he wanted to meet me. They don't come.
Yeah.
Right. So he's trying to talk me out of it. And then our buddy Eric Klein, shout out again, was like, bro, I may not say the number, but I will say
It's enough to make someone happy, right?
let's just say the investment we made is 6 figures. Well, his was multiple 6 figures.
Yes.
But his return in 2 months has been 17x.
Wow. What?
Working with Andy Elliott.
That's all you got to say.
Exactly.
Wow.
You don't even give them numbers,
Yeah.
but like just do the math.
Yeah.
Do the math yourself.
Yeah.
And you can dissect that on any number, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
And when he heard that, Robert was like, "Look it, I'm in."
Yeah.
And he was like, "How about this? How about I pay for like 30% of this brand partnership, and we run it through Uplift?" I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Now, I was like, "Okay, that's cool. That's cool." Now, from there, I'm gonna rewind it back a little bit. I obviously have a lot of like PTSD and trauma from partnerships, right? 2 years ago, I told Rachel, I'm never fucking partnering up with anybody ever again. But if there's ever anybody, it would be Robert. It'd be my best friend, Robert.
Yeah.
Right? Why? Because I don't need his money. He doesn't need my money.
Yeah.
Right? I wouldn't be the one and only one like investing into money and taking all the risk.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 thing, right? And it makes sense. It would make sense. And that's crazy because when he found out about the deal, it was at first it was like, here, I'll invest like 30% of it and we'll run all Andy stuff through Uplift. Okay, yeah, cool. All right, cool. I'm a very giving person. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, brother.
No, it's too big. I told you earlier.
Let's do it. But again, I'd do anything for him, right? It's like that's one person. Bro's worth $250 million.
Yeah.
You think he cares about 30% of what Andy brings us? Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fun to him,
Yeah.
right? And that's why it's like I know. Oh, fuck yeah, bro. Let's do it. And it's more about the journey than the monetary.
Yeah.
And
when you have your story later, it's fun.
yeah. True.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Well, and then he was like, and you'll get to know Robert a little bit more tomorrow. I'll see that through for you guys. And so he was like, super smart, man. He comes up with some crazy ideas. He's like, you know what'd be even cooler? This would be real cool. So when we go to sell investor lift and like the uplift, we would make it $1 trillion company. And when they buy CreditLift, you know what would make it even more valuable is that if you already have an acquisition under your belt. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but yeah. He's like, so what if I just bought your company? And then we just go all in on uplift. He's like, think about it. All right, I'll think about it. 10 minutes later, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. That's cool.
So yeah, I mean, it's less than a month old. My brand was All In Credit. Now we're CreditLift. It was amazing. Just like the glass and the wine, the infrastructure and the value. That's us in a glass of wine.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, right?
That's
so
awesome.
It's super new. Here we are. Like now we're helping Andy out with his stuff because he fell in love with the product. He had no idea what or who we were or what we did, and it's like, and you know, he had heard about me, but he was like, "Whoa, I didn't even know any of this possible." And you guys saw the video yesterday that you know, him endorsing us and whatnot. So yeah, we're right at the point where I think it's my time.
Man, I can't wait. Like, I would love to shoot a podcast with you like a year from now.
Yeah.
Because I could only imagine where you are.
Well, I mean, we have a few milestones. And I'm going to share like two perspectives. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably one that like the audience wants to hear, but the one that my goal, right? Yeah. So my goal is to raise America's national credit average score from 680 to 720.
Wow. That's a huge goal.
And it all starts with the community, right? So my CTO actually created a little, like a graph that tells us. So when anybody joins the community, and like when you guys join, you'll see the very first thing you should do is put in your credit score, obviously Canadian, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Credit score, personal credit, business credit, and then like how many dollars are saved by travel hacking, right? And so like it always changes. Obviously, the personal credit goes up because we're getting access to personal credit. Business credit goes up. The amount of dollars saved by travel hacking goes up. And then the credit score, it goes up and down as it grows, right? But obviously, it all starts right there.
Yeah.
The average credit score of CreditLift. So that's one of my goals.
What a big goal, though, man.
I know. Like,
yeah.
That's like a worldwide goal, though, right? Like a lot of people want to start small. You're like, fuck the small goal. Let's go big.
Yeah. You know, there was a kid yesterday sitting in the CEO seats that we sit in, and those are baller fucking seats. Those are $20,000 a seat.
Yeah.
And like there was a kid there, and right when we walked upstairs to hang out with PBD for the private little mastermind meet and greet, and like we get to ask him questions and bullshit. Me and Robert were the last ones in because we had that big gift for Patrick, and he's like, "Man, I'm trying. I don't belong here." I'm like, "The fuck?" Like, you guys know where I come from.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell are you, bro?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you do. Get in where you fit in, bro. Go find a seat.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, bro, I won the, what's that, hostage tape?
Oh, yes.
He said, I won the hostage tape challenge, so I got a CEO seat. I'm like, okay. So what? Dude, you belong here.
Yeah.
You are exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so me and Robert were like consulting him. You know, he's an ex-Marine. What should I do? Blah, 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 blah. So obviously, like, he doesn't know Robert, but he doesn't know, like, bro, it's him.
Yeah.
And,
100%.
you know, consulting him, telling him what to do, what to not to do. And Brad Lee is a friend. And he walks in, everybody's like, gets quiet. Because Brad Lee, all right, everybody, listen up. You know, Brad Lee shit. Yeah. And everyone's quiet. He's like, I'm just kidding, man. I'm not speaking or nothing. I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
And Robert's like, Brad, come here. Right? And so he was like, let's see what Brad thinks. Right? So this dude who was just kind of like cowering in the shadows because he feels like he doesn't belong, you know, got consultation from me, got consultation from Robert, got consultation from Brad Lee, and then Patrick Bet David. Like, bro, stand up. You're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I just think he needed to hear that from someone in that room.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember where I was going.
No, but that's good. That like I think even too, it's like, man, you're fucking goat. Like I'll give you that. And like I think if you haven't heard it before, you need to fucking hear
Well,
it.
what you were going with, sorry to interrupt you, was you're like, I want to give the audience what they want to hear, and then I want to like show why I'm doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So I guess like from a monetary goal, right? It's like, what do you want to do? Oh yeah, he was saying, the kid was saying,
Yeah.
what the kid was saying, because Brad was like, well, what's your goal? And the kid was like, I want to make $1 million within the next 2 years. He's like, why $1 million? Like if you watch Brad Lee, then you kind of understand like the demeanor.
Yeah, 100%.
Why $1 million in
Yeah.
2 years?
Red Vice.
Yeah.
for example.
Why only $1 million? That doesn't make sense. Why? Why isn't like, and me? Why does it have anything to do with money?
Mm.
Right. Honestly, I was probably giving him more advice than Brad, to be honest. But I was trying to give Brad the limelight. He's like, I'm like pulling my mic because I was mic'd up. I'm trying to pull my mic out of my shirt. I'm like, but I ended up like talking more, and it's like because honestly, like Brad's a baller, right? And I know how I know how that kid feels because I still feel like I don't belong in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I want him to feel empowered
Yeah.
without any like bullshit.
100%.
You know?
In a way, did you feel the little you? Like that was the little you there?
100%. 100%.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Like, yeah, like honestly, that's one thing I've kind of seen in you. It's like every time I feel like you always keep helping because you see the little self that you needed. And
Well,
that's what
If you recall, remember what's my purpose?
to be
To
the person
be the person
that you always needed.
that I wish I had when I needed the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I really resonate with you because like same with that call. It's
Yeah.
like you saw me get up. That was
Yeah.
my dad.
Mhm.
The first thing I texted was like, I'm not gonna pick up like, and I don't want to take anything away from that. Like, I'm happy he called. Guess what? I'm gonna have a conversation with him after this.
Yeah.
And be like, guess what? Yeah, cool. But when I really fucking needed you, where the fuck were you?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, man, I keep like it may sound like odd to you or whatever. I really do resonate with you, and I'm happy I met someone like you because I'm like, yo, you literally really ignited something under me.
Yeah.
It's like where I'm like, you kind of are the person I need to hear.
Mhm.
I said like I've sat with people, but like having this conversation, I'm like, I've taken so much more from this combo because you've been vulnerable with me.
Mhm.
You've also shared a lot of like experiences. You shared your home with me,
Mhm.
and I don't know, man. It's like that's why I'm so excited, and I brought it up before. I'm like, I'm so excited when you have fucking kids,
Yeah.
because these kids are fucking lucky.
Yeah. I'm excited too. I just hope God blesses us with a couple
100%.
little shitlings.
You will. I think you walk in the same, like you walk in that path with God.
Mhm.
And remember, we said it earlier, God gives his toughest warriors the hardest challenges, but also too, he gives them the biggest rewards.
100%. 100%, man.
Scotty T. Honestly, like, we've been recording for
Probably like this might be one of our longest episodes, honestly. And
yeah, but it's honestly been a blessing to us. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, is there anything you would want to say to our audience? Any advice?
plugins, anything like that, just drop it.
Oh man.
I love how you're directing me.
He's the fucking podcast host at this point.
Man, I just be resilient. Don't give up.
Talk to your cam.
I mean, be resilient. Don't give up. If you're a person of faith, don't lose faith. But first, don't lose faith in yourself. You know, try to be the person that you feel like you need the most. Right? That's my purpose, and I feel like if people try to be that person for themselves first, fill your cup first, then you can pour into others.
Yeah. Love that, man. And I love it because like we talked about yesterday, the affiliate program, people are gonna know exactly about CreditLift.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on the description everywhere, man.
Description on the fucking the episode. Everything.
Yeah, I think honestly this was one of the biggest treats that our audience has listened to.
Yeah.
Straight up. We've been through 100 episodes, and like this one has been like one of my favorites.
What is your audience? Who's most of your audience?
Most of our audience, like they're like entrepreneurs between the age of like 25 to 36.
Canadians?
Canadians.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Canadians, a little mix of American, but mostly Canadians. You know what I
Okay.
mean? That's our target. Like,
Do you want the sauce on how to even implement what I provide for people?
100%. Give us the
Straight
sauce.
All right. So even without joining the program, you know, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get the sauce first. I'm a value-driven person. I want to give, maybe receive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The Alex Hormozy method.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Canadians, there were so many Canadians yesterday at the event, by the way, which was so cool. Did you realize that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually came with like 7 of them.
Oh well, shit, they're all you. Man.
Yeah.
Well, that's sick, man. So like, here's the thing: a lot of people are like, well, how can I get funding? What is American credit? What can I even do with that as a Canadian? Well, it's simple. We have a social security number. You need an ITIN, an international taxpayer identification number, social security number. You're not issued a social security number, right? But you can go get an ITIN, and all you need is a U.S. address. You can simply use a friend's address. You can use a virtual address for your business. So if you're a business owner, you can get a virtual address through Regis, okay, REGUS, Regis, established business credit, which you'll learn exactly how to do that in CreditLift program. Okay, you'll learn exactly how to establish business credit. Now, you with your ITIN and established business credit with a U.S. address can build credit the same exact way any American can at the age of 18 plus. No different. You can get access to all the same cards, lines of credit, loans, financing, whatever it is that you need for personal or business, but through that method. Wow. Now check this out. Last night, you said you're Canadian. Yeah, what do I need? And I mentioned, you just need an ITIN. I literally, you can ask Jesse, or actually, to prove to you guys that I'm no bullshitter, I want to show you this, and maybe we can just pull up a screenshot.
Yeah, we'll pull a screenshot.
You drop it. We got you.
So I'm OCD, so I like live.
I love it.
Calendar. All right. And so every task list, everything that I have. All right. You see here, see that task? Yeah. Create modules for foreigner credit. Wow. So I'm going home and creating a whole entire new section and modules for foreigners who might want to go through my program and start a business in America and get funding and capital. Because I have clients. I have a few from Israel.
Yeah.
Robert's from Canada. Like, I have other Canadian clients.
Yeah.
But I don't have any Canadian students. And I'm like, oh shit. Entrepreneurial me. Hey, you see a problem, you solve it, right?
100%. Top market, essentially, right?
Exactly, right? So it's like, oh wow. Well, I've done it for Canadians, but I haven't taught Canadians. So you saw my task list. It was there.
Yeah, 100%.
It's fucking.
We're literally mapping it out already. Going to go home, film all the content, exactly how to do exactly what it is you need to do to get American credit and capital for your business if you're a foreigner.
And you know what? Now we're going to be partnered as an affiliate link.
Yep.
The whole podcast will be an affiliate link with them. So Canadians, don't miss out on this opportunity.
Don't sleep on that.
Don't sleep on this.
Right here, this is where it starts, and take your life further.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm in there every single day, man. I talk to everybody. I have no unread messages. I engage with everybody. I refuse to be the person that's out of reach, right? Because again, I want to be the person that I didn't have, right? So, I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in mentorship, but you'll never talk to those people.
Yeah.
I refuse to be that person. And it all starts with that community on top of raising the national average credit score, which, you guys may not impact that, but hey, guess what? I can help you get the capital you need to scale your business. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, 100%. And Scotty T, we'll have you on another podcast, hopefully, a year from now, like December. I said, so that we'll be back in Arizona December.
Well, let's do it, man. That's a 6-month mark. Let's see where we're at. I do have a 6-month goal, right?
What
of course, I have the overall
share with
goal.
them.
And this one is, it might be a little related to monetary, but short-term goals have to be realistic and a little bit of monetary. So That one is 5,000 students in the community.
Nice. How many are right now?
250.
Okay.
253.
Yeah.
253. It's 4 months old though. So
Yeah, exactly.
It'll
And with the Elliott effect, it's gonna happen,
Yeah.
bro, 100%.
Yeah.
We just said our 6 months goal was to get a couple six packs.
there you go. There you go.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to see in 6
Yeah.
months.
And remember, we've built this with no marketing or anything like that. We're
Yeah.
not running any ads. That video you guys saw yesterday, that was literally made that morning. Well, I mean, it was done like that day and
But
overnight.
like put
and,
together.
But
pressure,
put
pressure,
together
pressure.
and
Wow.
ran out,
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's like we're gonna
Yeah.
push that and use Andy's sponsorship and whatnot and audience. Of course your guys is.
Yeah.
But we wait for the right opportune moment. We haven't even leveraged our entire audience. We literally have all of America's top wholesalers and coaches as affiliates for InvestorLift. InvestorLift, CreditLift is InvestorLift. InvestorLift is CreditLift. So any big name, Pace Morby, Ryan Pineda, Josh and Tiffany High, RJ Bates, Eric Klein, they're all affiliates of
Big
mine now.
dogs.
Wow.
And we haven't even implemented or started with them yet.
I love it, brother.
Yeah.
I love it.
So it's go time.
You guys are taking over. Yeah, I guess honestly we can wrap it up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Thank you guys all for tuning in. You guys were spoiled with an episode like this. But yeah, no, honestly, Scotty T, thank you so much, brother, for
Thank you, bro.
I
Honestly.
felt like family. I just met you
Yeah,
last.
man.
I literally just met you yesterday, but your hospitality, brother, is it's meant the world to us, and it's something that we're not gonna forget. So
100%.
I appreciate you so much, brother, and all you guys are some lucky guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and
Guess what? We'll see you soon.
we'll see you soon. Peace.
Follow me on Instagram, SCOTTYTREGELLAS. I'll see you guys there. And DM me credit. I'm going to hook you up. Love you guys.